What's up, everybody? Welcome to Drinks with the Band. My name's Chris Denman. Do a little show called We Are Live. We do this show each and every week. Tonight, we're going to feature a delightful Jack and Coke special. We'll tell you more about that as the show progresses. Tonina is on the show tonight. Very excited to be here. We're live at Midcoast Studio in St. Louis, Missouri. But joining me from Los Angeles, as he does each and every week, is the U.S. Ambassador for Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. E.T., what's happening, man?
Yeah, man. How are you? Good to be back.
You know what? I feel like
my favorite part of the week.
This is the highlight of your week, and I'm proud to be part of that. So pumped to be here. I have some very good stories to get into. We have a very talented singer. She's from here in St. Louis, but she tours internationally. Her name is Tonina. So if you're tuning in for her, don't worry. We'll get to her. We love telling stories. We love sharing a cocktail recipe each and every week, thanks to our friends at Jack Daniel's. Also, a quick shout out to our friends at the Kransberg Arts Foundation, Snappy Bigman Coffee, and the glass I'll be making my drink with our friends at Barkeep, left here at the studio. So we love them too. E.T., what's new in your world? Los Angeles treating you well? Are you rested? How's the home office? Give it to me, buddy.
All good. It is Groundhog Day. Wake up, work, have a glass of Jack, go to bed, repeat. But it's, look, I get to do this. What can I complain about? You know what I mean?
That's what producer Matt was.
Everybody gets to spend time with you every week.
And not everybody gets to, on Wednesdays, go way back and see what a young E.T. looked like. We love featuring these. What's up, man? Wow.
Yes.
Can we check out E.T. with the hat, with the necklace? I just want a big shout out to Mama E.T. on the jeans, too. Really proving a point. We've dove into this. So what's the photo on the picture on the table there? Do you remember?
Yeah, that's my mom and my aunt and my cousin rocking it in the beach in Atlantic City.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's so good. By the way, I don't know, there's a word for that fixture, that yellow thing that holds
medallion?
Shells. No, behind me. My sister got it, and I really wanted it, but there's no way to get it to California, so my sister took it. But yeah, so that costume, by the way, that party during the 80s, if you recall, you might have costume.
You were headed to school.
That was my school outfit. The what's it called? If you remember in the 80s, there was that putting razor blades in like Halloween candy scare going around.
Yes.
So, and we were just on the verge of being too old to trick or treat anyway. So we had to spin the bottle party, and that was my outfit prior to the party.
Did it work?
Let's just say the guy next to me who sent you the picture, Mike Cook.
Mike Cook gets an associate producer credit on Drinks with the Band, by the way.
Yeah, so he sent you that picture, and he lived next door to me. He was dressed as a clown. So there was I think when you spun the bottle multiple times on the same person, you had to go 7 minutes in heaven. And we had like the secret room in my basement that him and his date, will you say, went. And then he came out like, we didn't kiss yet. Her face had all his clown makeup all over her, like mouth and nose and chin.
Shout out to Mike. Wow, that's the more innocent times.
Yeah, right.
E.T. We've got a rock star story because E.T. has 8 jillion of them, and I'm excited to get to that. Tonight, though, let's show the people what they can win. So we give away 2 prizes. Each week, we give away a T-shirt. This week is Tonina. Shout out to Buy Jack. That's where the website, that's where her shirt is held, buyjack.com. And just go to Tonina's official page there. What a cool shirt, by the way. I had like 3 people text me like, how do I get that shirt? I was like, tune in.
The shirt's awesome.
Yeah, so you can absolutely win this tonight if you share the stream. That's going to be one of our giveaways. And also, E.T. has brought the heat on the Jack Daniel's prizes each and every week. This week is no different. Let's see a photo maybe of what's up for grabs tonight. Oh my goodness. Jack Daniel's. That's a dartboard, people, and E.T. promptly mails us out. It's so funny. People message me back with the photos of the Jack Daniel's stuff quicker than the band T-shirts. So E.T. is on it, man. Way to go. And
hey, want to make the people happy. Want to get them their prizes.
You're doing it right, man. How do people
That
win
dartboard, by
this?
the way, you don't see it in the picture, but when you get it, there's a little picture of Mike Cook in the center.
Shout out to my producer Mike. We should find a way to include a little photo of him in the bullseye for sure. Now,
Yeah, be good.
how people going to win this tonight?
So I think, everyone's gone to a concert, and at that concert, sometimes, if they're lucky, another artist that they might really dig just shows up for fun and does
Sure.
like one song. So, I saw Pearl Jam once and Neil Young showed up. I saw The Who and Ringo Starr was there. So, like, has anyone seen a really cool show that they were super psyched to see, and then it got even better because so-and-so showed up?
That's a great question. I'm trying to think of my number one, and I'm gonna have to go through it for a minute. But you always see it like, I feel like Garth Brooks does that at these giant shows, or like Taylor Swift or something. Like I remember seeing like Taylor Swift did something in Arizona, and Jimmy Eat World came out with them. I'm like, Jimmy Eat World, I actually like them. That's awesome. But I'm gonna have to think of that. Do you have an example of yours?
Who have I? I mean,
you just gave a few great examples, but I'm sure you
yeah.
have 10 more.
The Ringo Starr is a little bit revisionist, as he was in the audience. He didn't get up on stage, but I did see Pearl Jam and Neil Young come out. Was there anything that was like beyond I can't believe this just happened? I'm not sure if I've ever been. I mean, I've heard of a few really good ones, but I guess Neil Young's pretty epic.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
The only things like I could think of is like at a Warp Tour or something where you have these guys all hanging out anyway, right? And then they're just gonna go jump up on stage randomly. And then I'm trying to think, like, we're in St. Louis, so like I'm sure Nelly gets that call every time from somebody
Right.
coming through, like, hey, come out, pop out on stage and get people excited. But yes, you can win the Jack Daniels official dartboard. Matt, I don't know if anybody's talking smack in the comments, but we can let them know. Again, let us know the coolest, guest star at a concert that joined, and you'll be entered to win the Jack Daniels prize. We give them away each and every week here on Drinks with the Band. So, E.T., I'm trying to think as well. Have you seen the bad version of that? I heard this, and I'm not throwing stones. I've heard that, I can't remember who was saying it, and I'll think of it, but maybe Stevie Nicks came out and sang with the Foo Fighters whenever they were in LA, and it wasn't the best performance. Have you ever seen that go wrong?
Yeah, I saw, again, at a Pearl Jam concert. I guess they have a lot of friends. Eddie Vedder's he's very active in politics and causes, and it's awesome, and he does really cool shit, and he has a lot of friends that do that. So I don't want to name it, but you can Google it. There was an actor that came out and performed, and great actor. I don't know that I needed to see him live on stage during my 2-hour window with Pearl Jam.
Right.
It was kind of like, all right, like,
I always wonder too at the concerts whenever they allegedly pull up the random, like Green Day used to do this thing where they'd pull somebody to play bass on a song or something, or sing or something, and you get somebody that just comes up and nails it. I'm like, did their team like spot someone and place them there beforehand, put like a little rose in their pocket or something? I think maybe we lost E.T. Oh, there he is.
Yes, I was at the Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunset 15, 20 years ago, and it was kind of quiet. I was there with a friend, and there was a guy sitting by himself in a weird suit and like that slick back grease hair, and totally minding his own business, not saying a word. And I forget what Doors song, but let's just call it Roadhouse Blues. The guy jumps up, rocks out to this song. Song ends, he just sits back down and completely quiet. About an hour later, it happens again, and then he goes to the restroom, whatever. I don't know where he went. And I said to the bartender, coming from a bartender, like, wow, that's interesting, guy you have there. And she's like, yeah. He goes, anytime that song come on, he freaks out because when he was 14 years old and the Doors played the Whiskey, Jim Morrison said, hey, we have a bass on the album, but we don't have a bass player in the band. Does anyone play bass? And he did. And they brought him on stage at 14, and he played bass to whatever Roadhouse. I don't remember what song it was, but I mean, your life basically ends there. What's going to be better than that?
No, you don't. You don't do anything better than that. High school's not going to
Except
bring that to you. I don't care if you play a
nothing,
sport. Like, there's nothing
nothing.
that's going to do that. Like, it's over. Like,
You're on
you're
stage
part
at
of
the
history
Whiskey with
now.
the Doors playing, and here he was, how many years later at the Rainbow,
Right.
and that was the highlight of every night of his life.
It's so true. And guys, stay tuned. Our guest tonight has been endorsed by someone very very famous himself. Our artist tonight, Tonina, has been endorsed by the highest office you could imagine. So that's actually a really cool fact that you'll learn more about whenever we talk to Tonina. As far as our drink tonight, man, it's drinks with the band. What will I be sipping on this evening? And also, there's a special ingredient we're going to go with this. We've got a few of them here. What do we have?
So, you've heard of a Jack and Coke.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Um,
lost. Go ahead.
you got me?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. And years ago, at the bar I used to run, someone was asking if a server said, "Do you have root beer back there?" And the bartender like, "No, but we have bitters, and if you put bitters in Jack and Coke, it kind of tastes like root beer." So we're going to go a step further and make this Jack and Coke special by adding a cherry with a little bit of cherry juice, and then it really becomes like, call it Jack and Coke special. It's still a very easy drink to make, but just the addition of a couple different things, and the bitters does matter. So it has to be an aromatic bitters, which the bitters you have are. And that's it, man. Just a Jack and Coke with a couple drops of bitters and a cherry with a tiny bit of cherry juice, and it gets a whole different experience.
I'm not mad about this. And tell me about this this cherry I'm about to indulge in.
So that is a gorgeous cherry from the Pacific Northwest, bathed in cherry juice, Currant juice, not only Kentucky whiskey, but Tennessee whiskey.
Oh, it's funny how that worked out. And look,
Yeah,
I
right?
treated it with respect. I got a spoon. I didn't get
I
I didn't want
that.
to stab it. I'm not going to stab it there. So we're going to get that in just a second. We got our ice here. So it's very simple, nice touch on a classic drink. So I'm going to drop that in.
I would do your shot of Jack,
Mm-hmm.
a few dashes of bitters, add your Coke, and then put a little cherry on top.
Well, I may go with a couple cherries because I'm somebody who indulges in such things. So
Hey,
let's see what.
as Floyd Lewis says, don't cheat yourself, treat yourself.
Thank you, Floyd. And once again, I'm Denmaning the ingredients here. I always love this too. Your mother tunes in, my mother tunes in. I get a make sure you're safe driving home, and you know what? We all appreciate that. So
That's
you're gonna drink.
That's a good sentiment from your mom.
Yeah, drink responsibly.
I agree with your mom. Drink responsibly. You're right.
I would say Jack Daniels does as well.
Yes, Jack Daniels does. That's why it's on that little card right there. The first thing it says.
It said. Absolutely. And then also you perfected the bitters as well. So
yes. The bitter, that was fun to make.
It's not only
so they're really.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's an aromatic bitter that goes in a lot of cocktails, but specifically made to pair with flavors of Jack Daniels.
See, you know what you're talking about. Okay, so I already put the one cherry in there from Dirty Suit. If I start acting happy, it's because I'm dropping a second.
Nice.
Check it out.
And you can use that little spoon if you want to just dip it in your glass, give it a little stir, make sure all the flavors are together.
Okay. All right. So cheers to Tonina and cheers to Drinks with the Band. E.T., I love doing this with you, man.
Yeah, it is the highlight of my week. Cheers.
Cheers indeed. Cheers to you guys listening at home. And be sure to hit share on this. You'll be entered to win a prize. Tell us about the best ever guest appearance at a concert that you saw, and maybe you'll win a Jack Daniels dartboard. How are you? Are you decent at darts?
I am better than people that are really bad.
Hey, I'll give you that. I was like, I played enough basketball, like the wrist like you can kind of like you just know where things like go through, and then people are probably like, that's not how that works at all. But I think I can play decent enough. But no, I'm not a league guy or anything like that.
No. If you're just like someone at a bar kind of tipsy and I play you, I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
But if you know how to play darts, I'm terrible.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. If you guys haven't yet, follow us on Instagram at We Are Live Radio, and be sure to follow tonight's guest, Tonina. It's I am Tonina all over that. Et, whenever
Yes,
things
sir.
kind of clear up and you feel safe and sound, we're gonna have to put some kind of a live thing together. I just saw your we keep it pretty light here. We go with the bands, but we got to talk about it. It's your hometown, Philadelphia, and
Yes.
mark my words through a friend. Other cities will follow suit, at least in the Northeast. Philadelphia shutting down to groups no bigger. You can't have an event larger than 50 until February 2021. And also shout out to our friends from Philly tuning in. I saw a Philly check in earlier.
Yeah, well, that I didn't see that, and I just spoke to my mom like 2 hours ago. But I think you're right. I think cities will follow suit. And to be honest, man, I wish we would have done it harder in the beginning. We would be so much further along. But because we kind of were all over the place, we're here. And, for what it is. And I think it just needs to end, and it's going to be tough because, everyone's definition of what's the right thing to do isn't the same. And that's going to be an issue.
It certainly is. And, you, for a living, I was talking to Matt, our producer, before this. I was like, I bet ET's like kind of not feeling so great. Like part of your job is to put on events, to attend events, to speak about Jack Daniels, to, spread the good word and be in front of people and, for lack of a better term, charm them. Like you're there to have a good time, right? Are you holding up okay? Is this one little outlet on Wednesdays doing it for you, man? Like, do I need to step up my game? Like, where are we at with this?
No, to be honest, there's been a lot of virtual opportunities and changes and pivots for people. So, I even though I'm not traveling, I feel like in a way I'm busier than I normally am, because everyone's trying to figure out how to do life. So there's just so many more things happening because everybody's like, we should try this, we should do this, we should try this. So, you know, it's really interesting to watch how the world is readjusting, but you know, it's weird for me. On the one hand, I've been on the road so much for the past, let's say, 5 years, and now I'm home with my wife and our dogs, and it's nice to not be on the road.
Right.
But the reason I'm not on the road really bums me out. I have a lot of friends whose bars are closing or are out of work or worried about their bar closing, and other service businesses and other businesses in general that are going to suffer. So, it's hard to take any, like, this is nice. It's a great little way to kind of add some sunshine into people's lives for an hour
It's
on
a
a
good
Wednesday.
hang. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good hang. So, and I'm glad that this kind of stuff exists because we all really need it, because the other side of this isn't perfect. So it's nice to have some diversion. So I'm glad to be part of them. And, when we do get back to real life, I can't wait to come see you in St. Louis for real.
Right. We're gonna have to make it happen, man. It'll be
Yeah, for sure.
it'll be that much more enjoyable whenever it actually happens in life. I don't know.
Exactly.
Do you want to share another story before we talk to Tonina? What do you got up your sleeve this week, man? There. By the way, we're releasing some clips this week and just consistently on the We Are Live Instagram. So at We Are Live Radio Instagram, be sure to check that out. And there was a great story from last week that was one story, but could have been like 27 about John Lennon.
Right.
So be sure to keep an eye out for those. We're always releasing those clips. And shout out to Ron Gallo, who was great last week, another Philly guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Right. What do you have for us this week, man? I'm sure you're going to
It's
razzle
funny.
dazzle us.
I don't think it's any mystery to you at this point that I'm, mildly interested in the Led Zeppelin band. And by mildly interested.
Oh, is that right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Surprise. Listen.
Yeah. He made
Breaking
me
news.
to do this show. He made me get the lyrics to Black Dog tattooed on the lower part of my back, just right back there. You can't see it. I won't show you on this, but that was that was
there.
it.
It's there.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was a couple opportunities in my life where I could have met Robert Plant that were foiled, and a guy called me today.
Was it your boy Michael?
No, Cook had nothing to do with this,
Okay.
Fortunately. But another buddy of mine who I think might be on here. So years ago, a guy I used to own a nightclub with owned a music venue, and somehow this band played there every Monday night, and it was a guy named Jack Tempchin who wrote a few of the Eagles' greatest hits. think he wrote Peaceful Easy Feeling and Already Gone. And he put together like this all-star band of legit touring musicians. Neil Young's bass player, Tom Petty's drummer, Waddy Wachtel, and I find out Terry Reid plays there in this band. Now, Terry Reid, if you don't know who he is, was the first singer Jimmy Page asked after the Yardbirds to be in my new band. Terry said no, and then introduced Robert Plant to Jimmy Page. So he's there on Monday night. So for me, it's 1 degree of Led Zeppelin, and because my buddy owned the place, I used to go there on Monday nights, and Terry literally wanted nothing to do with me. The bar manager quit. So I called my buddy, and I was working full-time somewhere else. I'm like, hey, I'm your new Monday night bar manager. Like, okay. So now that I'm working there, me and Terry, we start becoming friendly. And while I was there, man, I mean, it's hard to say this is a bad story, only because of the people in this band. Keith Richards showed up and played one night. Roger Daltrey, Donovan, on and on and on. And this place holds 100 people. So it's just crazy that they're there playing 5 feet away from you.
Right.
So, me and Terry, we became pretty friendly. And I just couldn't do both jobs. And so I stopped doing these Monday nights, but I would go back every 3 weeks. So one night I'm working at my other gig, and this guy, Paul Blazik, he's a drummer, great guy, except for his loyalty to me. But he's bad in that sense. He's terrible, but he's a good guy. And he comes into the bar one night. He's like, dude, you should have came to the show last night. It was awesome. I'm like, yeah, it's always awesome. He goes, no, last night was special. I'm like, what was so special? And he's like, about 1 a.m, half the crowd's still there. It's kind of winding down. Front door opens. Terry drops his mic, and he's like, come on up here. It's Robert Plant. Now, he knows where I live, and he knows it's minutes, if not seconds, away from this bar. Doesn't call me, just sits there and enjoys Robert Plant. And obviously, had I been there, I'm the bar manager, Robert Plant's singer, Led Zeppelin. We have a lot in common already, and we'd become besties.
Pretty much.
And maybe he'd play my birthday party with his buddy Jimmy. Who knows?
Yeah, you'd go bowling as a couple. Yeah, sure.
Families, right? So I stopped talking to Paul, and I called the GM of the place who took my Monday night shift, and he also knows about my mild interest in the band. And I'm like, how do you not call me? And he's like, it happened so fast. I'm like, what do you mean it happened so fast? Like, you couldn't just text me like, Robert Plant's here?
Right.
He's like, I didn't call anyone. I'm like, you didn't call the owner? He's like, I called the owner. I'm like, he lives 30 minutes away. He would have never made it. So he's like, he took a Sharpie and he wrote my cell phone number right by the phone. He's like, I will never not call you the next time something like this happens. I'm like, all right. So 3 months later, this is where this story goes bad. Calls me 4 o'clock on a Monday. He's like, I got something to tell you. You can't tell anybody. I'm like, what? And he goes, seriously, swear to secrecy. This can't get out. I'm like, I'm a vault. I won't tell anyone. He's like, it's confirmed. Now, before I say what I'm about to say, no disrespect for the person I'm about to say. It's just not Robert Plant. I'm like, who is
most normal people would say, oh, yeah, that's fair. I'm not Robert Plant.
Yeah. And he's like, all right, you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. He goes, Fred Durst will be here tonight. I'm like,
when was this? What year?
2001, 2002.
Okay, so he was still he was already people were making fun of him, but he was at least still getting spins.
This is right around the Behind Blue Eyes cover.
I'm proud to say I never really got that. I never really.
Anyway, I'm like, you don't call me for Plant, but you call me So then I'm just convinced the guy doesn't like me.
E.T. How do you go? Limp Bizkit. All right, sorry. That's gonna get us flagged. They're gonna be like, you played that Limp Bizkit song.
It was just a weird, what's it called? First of all, he doesn't his genre doesn't even fit that night. It's all these classic rock guys.
Right.
I guess because he did a Who cover, somehow that fit the mold. But anyway, so me and Paul still talk. He also, I told you this story before, but Paul is the guy who is friends with Jason Bonham, who had tickets to the only Led Zeppelin show where they rehearsed in the past 40 years, and he did not give me his +1.
This is just, each week it's just going to be E.T. calling out the people who have wronged him.
Yeah, because they
okay.
can't.
Yeah.
Like they can type over here, right?
E.T. Oh,
So that's
perfect.
But I will. All right. You know what? You're right. I don't want to be negative to Paul Blazik all the time. He did call me when he got the inside tip that Jimmy Page was going to be at the same bar because he heard Terry Reid was going to be there. I did go, and Jimmy Page was there. So Paul Blazik did put me 5 feet away from Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page didn't play. It's not Paul's fault.
Right.
But Jimmy Page was there, and I turned and looked at him and waved and tried to give him like we have something, but he wasn't buying.
Well, maybe we'll continue this next week. It's a bit of a saga. As far, again, for the drink tonight, shout out to E.T.'s company, Dirty Sue. You can get those cherries. They're delightful, wonderful addition to the drink tonight. And shout out to Jack Daniels, again, our friends at Kranzberg Arts Foundation, even our friends over at the Cortex, and everybody for supporting Drinks with the Band. We're happy to do this every week. If you drop your favorite moment at a concert where it was like a guest spot, like somebody you weren't expecting showed up and sang or did something awesome. I'm trying to think, like when I was like 17, I went to a bunch of summer tours, right? And I'm like, does it count if like Jay-Z was on stage for 2 seconds during like an exhibit set? Like I'm thinking of the Liquid Mix tour in like 2002 I went to. It was like NERD and like, I don't know, crazy times. But drop us that moment in the comments and we'll pick one. And one of you is going to win a custom Jack Daniels dart set. And then, again, share the stream, and you're going to be entered to win a kick-ass Tonina t-shirt. E.T., anything before we get you out of here, buddy, and bring Tonina on?
No, man, great to see you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I look forward to next week.
Absolute blast each and every week. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And I'm sure I'll talk about it more. She's become a good friend through quarantine. Our friend Katie Tupin is on next week, and you guys are going to have to tune in for that. So she's done Letterman twice. I love giving her trouble for that. I was like, you've done Letterman twice, and you got to do my shows? I was like, I don't know. But E.T., a pleasure as always. Shout out to young E.T. in the photo from earlier. Let's jump over to Tonina. Thanks, everybody. We've got Tonina, local St. Louis artist, and she's on the road traveling. So we're talking to her tonight on Drinks with the Band. If you haven't heard of her, she also tours internationally. She's on that Spotify playlist I told you all about for the Drinks with the Band artists that we're doing all through fall. Tonina, so nice to see you. Great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sitting here talking with me. I'm super excited.
Where are you right now?
So right now I am in Santa Monica, California, visiting my brother, and I needed to get out of St. Louis for a bit to recharge, and I risked it and went on a flight, and now I'm here relaxing, trying to work on my mental. So
well, I hope you're doing it well. That's way better of an answer than like I don't know, Shaw and Kings Highway. Like what do you mean? It's a nice backyard. I'm glad you're actually somewhere else.
Yeah, no, it's been super nice, and you know, I'm reminded how much or how important the sun is, you know,
right,
and just a clear blue sky. It's just so relaxing. It's great.
Are people chilled out in California? I know there's everywhere we're going, or everywhere you look, it's just like, wow, it's terrible here now. It's all this. I just saw another possible pullback of things being open in California. I assume everybody's mindset, your brother, like you said, your brother's partner there, is everyone just kind of in the same mindset? Like, we'll see what happens?
Yeah, I know my brother and his partner are working from home. So, and several people here are working from home, but, you know, the beaches are packed still, at least where we are. And we're close to Venice too, and that's packed. We went on a bike ride, and you know, we could barely get through people and stuff. So I was really surprised, and I've seen people at restaurants and, you know, bars and stuff on their patio, and it's like full capacity. It looks like just like another day in California. But I mean, I don't know how you're going to get people away from the beaches, you know,
well, that's
especially around this time. So,
right. You saw him earlier, our friend E.T. He's the Jack Daniels U.S. representative. He joins us from Los Angeles each and every week. So I don't know. He's given us some reports on it, but the eye on the ground from Tonina, getting out of St. Louis, heading to Southern California. So we had you on here. You're our first technical St. Louis artist, but kind of at this point, just the work that you've put in, the travel that you've accumulated, the international tour dates, kind of a unique spot to be in, and you just recently put out an album. Being from St. Louis, do you have any sort of, I guess, are there hurdles, like when you're out on the road, do you feel like, hey, I'm a rock star, I'm doing this, I'm playing to a crowd in Italy, I'm doing this in Chicago, I'm doing that. I always just feel like whether it's music, comedy, business, something, we'll come home to St. Louis and you'll get the, don't get me wrong, people appreciate things here, but you'll also kind of get the, okay, where it's like, okay, where people don't necessarily, have people caught on to some of the success that you've achieved? I know it's still early in your career, but you've had some cool things happen.
Yeah, it's interesting coming home to St. Louis. You know, I get the impression, I mean, people aren't as well traveled in St. Louis, so it's like pretty cool when you know, tell people, yeah, I just got back from Argentina, or I just got back from Italy. They're pretty, you know, impressed or whatever, but, you know, it's just like a home feeling, you know, coming back. And I really miss home a lot when I am abroad and playing shows and stuff. But lately I've been like, it's nice to get away.
Right.
And it's, you know, coming back, I just feel like St. Louis has that kind of behind feel, like you're going back in time a little bit. So it's pretty interesting. I kind of this love-hate relationship with the city.
No, that's what happens. And every time, I'm sure, like personally, if I go to Los Angeles for a little bit of time, or if I'm in even Chicago, the first thing I notice, I'm like, man, it's so dark here. Like there's the infrastructure, right? You're driving around and you're like, I'm used to things being a little more lit up. Our place is what it is. I'm not trying to bash St. Louis. It's just, it's always interesting to hear perspectives when they're out. So we're going to chat with Tonina. She's going to play 4 songs tonight. Real quick, newest release, what's the best way for people to support that?
So my latest release is called Papaya, and it is on any digital streaming platform. And yeah, you can download it, you can buy it, and stream it, whichever you prefer. So yeah, check it out.
Well, if you guys want to check out the Spotify, that's cool. I know we're going to give away a t-shirt. Jack Daniels is making that happen. So if you all are listening, hit share. It's really, really easy to do. We'll pick a random winner and we will send you a t-shirt from Tonina's store. And that's at, what is it, buyjack.com? Yeah, this is a weird one because I know exactly where your t-shirts are coming from too. Man, I picked out one already. I was like, yeah, that's the one. I really like your t-shirt. So yeah, check out Tonina's shirts. We'll give away a free one tonight thanks to Jack Daniels, and it'll be delivered to you in no time. So Tonina, we're going to chat some more, but I'd love to hear a song, if you would, in your brother's beautiful backyard.
Awesome. I need thunder, don't make my night suffer, and maybe I'll finally find some peace and comfort. These 4 walls are hesitant, and even when I try to fight it in this horrible end. Can't seem to understand it all. Freedom, oh, freedom, freedom, oh, freedom. Right inside me, take hold of me, say all is lost. Somewhere in the silence, love lives on. I've come undone. I'm heartsick and I'm broken. My voice and my dreams are lost in this ocean. I need you now. Listen to my heart cry. I want to fly up and above the sky. So here I am, can't seem to fall into you. Freedom, oh, freedom. Freedom, oh, freedom. Right inside me, take hold of me, say all is lost. Somewhere in the silence, love lives on.
Tonina, incredible way to kick it off. Let's just shut it down. I can't have you anymore after that. That was fantastic. Live from California in the backyard. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I know you've done a few of these. Like, do we need to do some tech stuff or anything else? And then no, you pull it off. It sounds wonderful.
Awesome.
What's the name of that song for people to check it out?
Yeah, this song is called Freedom. It's actually a cover by Melissa Polinage. So check out her version. And yeah, I have some live versions on YouTube as well with my upright.
Very, very nice. So how many, let's get down to you as a performer. How many, I guess regularly, how many instruments are you playing?
I only play 2 comfortably. I play guitar and I play bass. So anything outside of the string department makes me super uncomfortable. And yeah, but I would love to like eventually be able to play harmonica and like a brass instrument. I think that'd be super fun.
I think you probably have plenty of time to learn that before things open back up. So
yeah, hopefully I can learn a new
knock that out. One more band. I guess upright bass, definitely unique in some of the venues that you play, I would think. Do you feel like the instrument itself draws a crowd? Like, is there, I mean, obviously you're going to have to be talented to keep people around past, 10 seconds of you playing. But I mean, do you feel like that's part of the performance? Like people getting to see you standing there and playing something they're not used to? Because I mean, you play venues all over, and maybe you're just used to a different crowd that's upright bass fluent. I'm just thinking of some of the venues that you play. People walk in like, what's happening here? I don't know. It seems fairly unique.
Yeah, no, I like to bring out my bass, and his name is Chauncey. Okay. We've been together for like 15 years at this point, so he's like super near and dear to me. But no, I think it's important for people to see the instrument in different settings, outside of what they usually see it. So maybe a symphony member will normally see it in the symphony if they frequent the symphony a lot. Or maybe a bluegrass lover will see it in a bluegrass setting and played a different way. Or a jazz lover will see it in a jazz band, So I like to show the versatility of the instrument, and I want people to know that there are female players of this instrument and there are Black female players of this instrument. And so I like to bring it out, as far as I like there to be representation. I would like, a young Black girl to see me playing it and being like, oh, okay, so I know that's possible. Yeah. For someone who looks like me. And I just, I think it's important to, bring it out and for that to be the main, not the main instrument, but one of the instruments that people focus on.
Well, it's really memorable is why I bring that up too. It's an impressive, as somebody who's not instrument versed, it's impressive to see somebody like yourself singing and playing it so well. So I'm sure it's a blast to lug around and to load in. But
yes, it is. But like, let me tell you, it's better than the drums. Being around drummers, I'm like, yeah, my instrument sucks to bring around. But it wasn't until college until I saw a drummer packing up all their stuff and then a harpist trying to bring that up and down the stairs. So it's moments like those where I'm like, okay, I can do this. I'm okay. At least I'm not playing the harp or drums.
Right. And it's one of those things too, where you see a drummer packing everything up after they played to 12 people and they made no money. You're like, you must really love this. Like,
you must right. Really,
you're going to do it again? Really?
For real. But that's how much you got to love it.
Yeah, very true. Other side of things, you sing in multiple languages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm half Sicilian. So my mom's side is Sicilian and my dad is Black, but he spoke Spanish. So I like to bridge the gaps in our society.
Those are heavy tasks you're putting on yourself, but I think it's achievable. I think it is. Like, if you're just like, well, this woman's famous, this woman's talented, and if you have those goals set, those are big things to put out there and to put on your shoulders. But I feel like if you have that mindset, it's definitely achievable.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, why not, if you speak these languages, why not make your music in them? I want to make it for everybody, for as many people as I can. So with these universal languages, I like to spread my message, and make it more accessible to people who don't speak English. So that's why I decide to write in the languages and perform in them. So hopefully I can add some more languages in the future, but we'll see. We'll see how far I get. But
you got to slow down. Like, you're already overachieving with that. So is it 3 total that you perform in?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Spanish, Italian, and English.
How many times would you say you switch? I mean, I don't know if you have even a percentage base, but I mean, in a typical longer headlining set, what could people expect to see as far as like a breakdown of songs in English, Spanish, Italian? Like, would it be, fairly equal? Does it depend on where you're at geographically? That has to.
Right. Yeah. So it depends on where I am. In St. Louis, I do majority English, and then but there's always going to be Spanish in there. So I would say like 70 English and 30 Spanish when I'm in St. Louis. And sometimes I'll switch it up and make it 50-50.
Sure.
And then, when I'm in Italy and Spain, then that's when I'll break out the Italian and majority Spanish. Do
you feel like being where you're from? I know you've got you work with Alonzo, love Alonzo, and I feel like he's a hard worker. Do you feel like bringing maybe the mindset of an American touring artist? I say this because I'm friends with a lot of people, and they grind and they grind and they grind. And a guy named Ron Gallo was our guest last week. He's tours the world playing rock music. Met his wife in Italy, and he just explained how in Italy he's like they chill, they have a good time, they actually respect some enjoying yourselves or relaxing or whatever else. This is kind of a weird question, but you're very unique to this. Do you feel like bringing the work ethic of potentially an American standard musician into Italy, like it's almost appreciated. Like there's more opportunity for somebody that's going to go after things the way that a lot of American musicians do. You're able to speak the language, sing the language. There's just not that many people like you that are American artists that could go to Italy and comfortably sing, and people would be able to connect like that. I just think that's so interesting as far as either touring or I guess just as far as an artist, how your time is spent.
Yeah, it's definitely something I take advantage of.
Absolutely. And people probably appreciate it so much. Like, I mean, especially
people are. Yeah, I think I've noticed more people appreciating my craft, and then also people have told me after a show, like, I didn't know who you were, and I just bought a ticket because your name is Italian, Sicilian, and but like they love what I did, and were super appreciative of my history, and they love Black music over there, Black American music over there, and then the fact that I'm half Black, they love that, and it's giving them some insight into America and like the Italian diaspora and the African diaspora, and like here I am. So it's been pretty interesting, and I've noticed that people in Europe have more of an appreciation for the craft, for music in general, and then like I said, they'll buy a ticket to someone that they don't know, which is super interesting to me, because I know like a lot of people where we're from, it's not, I gotta be a super fan. Like I can't just like their music, like it's okay, I have to be a super fan for me to spend however many dollars on a ticket. So
you would be a great example of this. Like, let's say you're playing, you book a winery gig. I don't know that you play a ton of wineries. I'm just picturing a winery around St. Louis. Somebody's playing, you've got this gig, you're being paid well, it worked out for you. My favorite / most thing I hate the most, because I see it with comics a lot or whatever, is you would be playing for this St. Louis person, and they would just kind of passively be like, hey, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
Be like, she was in Italy last week playing to a sold out crowd, and then the president gave her his blessing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's really bad. I always just relate back to the comedy thing. You'll see somebody and somebody's like, oh, they were pretty funny. I'm like, they were on Netflix and you didn't realize you were watching them. It's so funny.
Literally, I don't know what that's about. I don't understand, because it's not like we get that much exposure to, just like geographically where we are. It's like we're not in LA or New York, where we have artists coming through all the time for tours and stuff. Like I feel like we should be a little bit more appreciative.
That's what I think. I was like, listen, I know it's super fun to crush Busch Light and see a cover band. I get it. There are times for that. That can happen. Right. But we can also step back and be like, wow, that person's really playing their instrument very well. I don't think I could ever do that. So right. I'm both happy and sad. You knew, it feels like exactly what I was talking about. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm chattering quite a bit. You've got 3 more songs left. What's the next song we're going to hear?
You're going to hear a song off of my latest record, Saint Lost. This song is called Adamly, and it's a little slow folk bop. So enjoy.
Okay, let's hear it. Jack Daniels is presenting Drinks with the Band. Here's Tonina.
When you were young, did you play on the beach, picking up sea glass, don't cut your feet? When you were young, did you ask about girls, or play with the boys who didn't look at things like you? When you were young, did you lean on or play ball in the street in your car. When you were young, did you play in the lawn, or did you mess up your mama's garden? What scares you don't scare me. I have been back to your feet. I and we share something. We share something. Adam Lee. Adam Lee. When you were young, did you play in the beach? Picking up secrets, don't cut your feet.
I feel like if the camera stays there, you have to keep playing.
Yeah,
is
right.
That a rule? There we go. Just do the extended version. Beautiful song, and you said that was on the new album. I mistakenly said new album earlier. You did a new release, what, like a month ago for Papaya?
Yeah, in April. So 2 months ago.
It was like 8 years ago. It feels like.
Oh my gosh, it feels like.
Right. Off. That's insane.
Right.
Beautiful song. And when does that album come out?
So, the next album, or what the song was?
The song. Sorry, the song that that you just played, is that out already?
Yeah, it's out. It's on my album released in May of 2019. It's called that song is called Adam Lee, but it's on my album Saint Lost. So that's available everywhere and anywhere.
And then you have a new album coming out, correct?
It's in the works. This will be my first. Everything is so delayed with COVID.
I was like, I swore. Wait. Okay, I don't know. So it is delayed. Yeah, because I mean, you have to get musicians in studio. You have to get the studio. You have to make sure everybody's safe.
Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fly to the studio in San Francisco.
Is that where you record?
Yeah. Okay. So we are signed to Empire Records, and they're based in San Francisco. So we have to do everything there. But we're going to try to make it work and do some local, record locally, but it's hard, man. It's hard. Everyone's schedule's off.
Right.
Right.
And even then, it's like if one, I don't want to be negative, if one weird thing happens and you're like, okay, guess we're going to be stuck in San Francisco for 2 weeks while we wait for results.
Exactly. So
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful song. Again, go check that out. Is Spotify. We have Tonina's songs all over that Spotify playlist. But if you go and if you're sharing this feed tonight, you can win a Tonina t-shirt. We're going to pick a random winner, so hope to do that. Next week on Drinks of the Band, we're going to have our friend Katie Tupin. Remember her? She was in Houndmouth. I give her a lot of trouble. She's done Letterman twice, and now she's relegated to doing this show. So Katie Tupin next week, and we've got great artists all throughout the end of September. Tonina, I'm curious also, when people hear you're from St. Louis, whenever you go to these faraway places and you're recording with the best of the best, do you ever feel the need to kind of defend where you're from, or is it kind of one of the things where people are just respecting you as an artist and they're not going to care where you're from?
Honestly, people from America have a harder time locating St. Louis than people I've met in Europe, honestly. And it's
too self-important. Yeah.
Right. It's pretty crazy. Like, I remember going to college in Boston and telling people I'm from St. Louis, and they're like, Louisiana? I'm like, nah. And they're like, oh, Minnesota. I'm like, nah. It's like,
did they not have basic geography? Because they did. It's just they just don't care, so it gets pushed away.
No, yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're like, oh, you mean in the South? I'm like, no, the Midwest.
Nope, definitely not.
Yeah, definitely not. But I mean, similar mindset, but no.
Can be.
But yeah, when I tell people in Europe I'm from St. Louis, they're like, "Oh, Miles Davis." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then
you didn't say the Arch. Can we have dinner?
Right,
That's
literally.
amazing. Yeah.
No, a lot of people, the majority, I would say, the majority of people that I tell I'm from St. Louis, they know where it is, or they at least know something about it. They say St. Louis Blues or, Miles Davis a lot.
Interesting. See, that means you're. Yeah, they say they're okay. Yeah, there's some history here. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the age I am, for 10 years, it was like, Nelly, cool, all right. Nothing wrong with that at all. The guy's earned it.
Right.
It's nice to see some movement around that. Did you see he did a over the weekend?
The
drive-in show. Yeah. How do you feel about those shows as a performer?
Honestly, I will not accept any gigs unless it is socially distanced, obviously, and there's
you really proved your point going out of town to California.
I know, right? Literally.
You've
I know.
Point taken.
But yeah, I just can't morally accept a show where there's going to be like hella people just like any other day. Like I think it was DaBaby who had a show like it was any other day and like it was a crowded, packed place. No, I won't do that. But as far as a drive-in show, like where you're in your car or you're on top of your car and you're 6 feet away or whatever from the next car, I would love to do that. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And it's a great way for people to see live music again. So I'm here for it. I would love to do one.
I think it's a good idea, and I think those are the things. I think that's what bothers me most about you mentioned DaBaby, but I think of like, and this is probably like the 4th show in a row, like because they keep doing this, like that Kid Rock having like parties in Nashville at his party or something. Like I'm like,
really?
A, why are you at that guy's bar? But then B, it's one of those things where he has this like this giant bar where just I don't know, probably houses 1,000 people, and they keep just packing it in there. That's what I think bothers me the most about some of this, because you claim to be innovative, and I'm okay. We're clocking out of the Kid Rock talk. The people who do otherwise, you claim to be innovative. You claim to be like, oh, work hard and do this or whatever. It's like, okay, so work hard and smart, because we're not saying you can't do it. There's unique ways you're going to have to do it different, so we can all move past this to someday get back to what you consider normal. But sometimes in life you have to do things different for a while, and like
literally, and it's like so scary that those venues would even accept that for their capitalistic reasons. It's just so irresponsible and gross to me.
Well, it is. It's strange again, and I only say this because I'm like, okay, I get it. You want the money, you want this, you have employees, all those things. All right, you got me there. So what are you doing to be different? Because it's been decided that the regular way is not okay. Like, what are you doing different? Yeah. So that's very strange to me, and I don't even. It's not even saying like, put everyone in weird futuristic tubes, and the artist like floats from above.
Exactly.
You don't have to do that. You can figure out kind of weird, unique ways, and it sounds like a PA, a stage, a field, and non-mud could get you some form of a performance, right? So
exactly.
We'll see. A couple more songs left. We're talking to Tonina. If you're just jumping in, be sure to hit share on the stream. We're going to pick a random winner for a Tonina t-shirt. For those of you dorks who don't win, go to the Tonina web store that we've kicked out in the comments, and you can see all of our very cool t-shirts. I'm a larger guy, so I see these, some of these, I've got my eye on a couple of these really cool patterned shirts that Tonina has. If you guys want to peacock a little bit, Tonina's got some very, very cool shirts that'll make you stick out. And I'm all about me, so I'm gonna make that happen. We can jump into another song if you've got one queued up.
Cool, yeah. Next one is called "Make You Happy," and it's also on the album St. Lost, so you can get that anywhere.
That is available right now.
You were made for me. not for me. The way you knocked me by your bedroom door, the way you looked, it made me sore. When I came back and you said I looked like a changed girl, and I said, how about you come back and change me? You got me mistaken for someone who wasn't making you happy. Don't think about coming to my bed. I meant every word I said. Didn't occur to me that I wasn't making you happy. Wasn't making you happy now. Something that I was missing. I didn't listen to myself. I could I forget where I came from? You got me mistaken from someone who wasn't making you happy. Don't think about coming to my bed. I meant every word I said. It didn't occur to me that I wasn't making you happy. Wasn't making you happy now. Wasn't making you happy, yeah. Wasn't making you happy now. Making you happy, yeah. Making you happy now. Making you happy, yeah. Making you happy now. To my bed. To my bed.
Very happy hearing that song. Again, you can check it out on St. Lost, which is available now. Tonina, wonderful songs. I know we've got one more to go. We're going to chat a bit more. I'm curious just where you're at. You're young. You have achieved some very cool things. What are you trying to do with your career in the next, we'll just say, with the next album, whenever it comes time? What are your goals, I guess, from where you're at to, we'll say, album release time, and you've got your first month of touring if you're touring on that album?
Yeah, I would say my biggest goal with my musical career is to be able to explore new places with my music. So I've been able to discover new countries that I would not otherwise be able to travel to if it wasn't for my music. I've been able to make best friends from tour and traveling. So yeah, I would love to be able to discover a new country with this next album. I would love to be able to tour a new region from this next album, and I would hope to just meet more people with it and gain more exposure.
Okay, all right. I was like, that's a little bit humble. All right. I was like, all right, the exposure part. Okay, there you go. In regards to, I guess that timeline. We don't know whenever you're able to get in the studio. Do you feel like that you'll be able to be on tour in the next? We'll just say this time next year. Will you be able to be touring? If you had to, we're just taking a stab at it.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, God willing, who knows? I mean, at the rate that this country's going, I won't be able to leave the U.S. I'm working on my dual citizenship with Italy. So hopefully I can use that to my advantage and, claim my EU citizenship and be able to travel, get out of this country, and, make a living elsewhere because this is ridiculous. So we're not leading by example right now, being one of the most powerful countries in the world.
Strange.
So yeah, it's
weird.
It's gross. Exactly. So hopefully I will be able to, and hopefully once I get my passport, my Italy passport, I can get my ass off on out of here.
You can do a little bit more of that. Okay.
Literally. So yeah, I'm hoping for sooner, but hopefully.
We'll see what happens. I'm curious, before we get to that last song, getting the nod from Barack Obama. I'm sure you've been asked this question over and over and over, but can you just kind of, I guess, take me to how that happened, and then what the feelings were whenever, I don't know who the first person that told you was, added you to a playlist, and I'm sure that is never a bad thing.
Yeah. I honestly don't know how he found me.
Your manager at home screaming like, "It was me."
I honestly, I was just being tagged in a bunch of Instagram under the comments on his Instagram. But I was on an NPR like 10 new artists to watch list, so he might have found me from there. But yeah, once I saw my name in the same sentence as Barack Obama, and then my name in between Cardi B and Beyonce or something, I forgot who I was in between. But it was a crazy feeling. Like I remember going down the stairs and screaming to my roommates and trying to go down the stairs, and I lost all feeling and all mobility in my legs.
Right.
It was super special, and I haven't felt anything like that ever before. I don't know if I will again, but it was super, super special, and I'm just grateful that someone so powerful and famous likes one of my songs. So
I mean, it's huge, and what a great calling card to have. Like, if they take everything away now, and they say you can only go off of what you have, I'd say that's a pretty great thing that you've achieved, and I think it's going to lead to a lot more. So, very excited to have you here. Yeah, and again, I do take personal offense. I was like, yeah, we could have her come in studio, and then you got as far away as possible to California. So, performing live.
Nothing against you.
In the backyard. Okay, we've got one more song. What are you closing out with? Let's hear
it. Let me think. I think I'm going to do a cover.
Okay, you can do a cover. Don't get us pulled from YouTube, whatever you do.
Okay. This song is called...
Give Chauncey my best, by the way.
Oh, yes, I know. I wish I could have performed with Chauncey, but he couldn't make it on the plane.
Sure.
Yeah,
right.
He couldn't make it.
Health concern.
But yeah, I'm going to do a White Oak cover. This is called Civilian. Nothing without pretend. I know my faults can't hide them. I am nothing without a man. I know my thoughts can't hide them. I still keep my baby teeth in the bedside table with my jewelry. You still sleep in the bed with me, my jewelry and my baby teeth. other friends when most of them I can barely keep up with them. Perfectly able to hold my own hand, but I still can't kiss my own head. I wanted to give you everything, but I still stand in awe of superficial things. I wanted to love you like my mothers and brothers did civilly, yeah, yeah. Civilly, yeah, yeah. Severely, yeah, yeah.
Tonina, live from California here on Drinks with the Band. What a great conversation. It was so nice getting to talk to you, and I'm so happy to actually get away and enjoy yourself. Shout out to the to you for playing through the truck beep earlier. I didn't want to say anything.
Oh my God.
You soldiered through.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be in the same key, but it totally wasn't. So there's a little like atonal harmony right there.
It's the remix. That's right. Tonina, how can people support you? Again, Instagram, the website, obviously the t-shirt link we've got out there.
Yeah, you can support me by following me on Instagram at I am Tonina, and click the link in my bio for my songs, updates, and for donations to different organizations that I align my music with. So yeah, and go to my website and buy some merch and rock my stuff and share my stuff with your friends if you're into it. Tell your family, all that stuff. So yeah, and buy a ticket to one of my shows when hopefully we can tour again.
We'll see. Hopefully you get out there sooner than later. Tonina, absolute pleasure talking to you. Again, support her. And if you've hit share, if you haven't yet, if it's we pick a prize winner, you get a free t-shirt if you're part of that. And shout out to E.T. from Jack Daniels for giving away the Jack Daniels prize as well. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, next week we have Katie Tupin. Week after that we have Sean James. That guy's seeing a big blow up once again because of his song on, I guess it's The Last of Us Part 2. And then several other, Brian Owens coming up. We've got a bunch of great artists on the horizon. So Tonina, again, thanks so much for joining We Are Live and the band. So great to see you. Take care.
Great to see you too. Bye.